Good morning. Welcome to the meeting of the Tourism Development Commission. We'll have a roll call.
Commissioner Barber,
Present.
Commissioner Pettit,
Present.
Commissioner Evans,
Present.
Commissioner Perry,
Present.
Commissioner Walton.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. And we'll go for the approval of the minutes from the January 4th meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the January 4th meeting.
I second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous. And we'll have public comments now, and seeing as there's nobody in the audience, I think that's probably cut and dried there. And we'll go on to reports of the Railroad Museum. And I don't see a representative from the railroad, but does anybody have a report on that?
Let them know the reports in the packet.
Okay. Well, they gave a good presentation a while back, and to me it's very encouraging. And I hope this can be one of the reasons that people stop into Kingman to see a restored train depot, and then the work that they've done inside there too. They've done a lot. It's all volunteer. That's really quite a accommodation on their part, or not accommodation rather, on their part for going to something that they really enjoy doing.
Would I be out of order if I asked a question about something pertaining to the Railroad Museum concerning their security system?
I don't know anything about their security system.
They don't have one, as far as I know. And when I was over there the other day to drop some an ad off, I noticed that some of the windows are actually almost ground level and stuff, and they're very big, wide windows. And they've got a lot of valuable stuff in there, you know, that they're selling, and the trains and things like that. And I was wondering what the criteria would be to get them some type of security system if there's a break-in. As far as I know, they don't even have an alarm.
Well, maybe they do, and we don't know. You don't know if they do have one for sure or not.
As far as I know, they don't have one.
Well, I guess it's something we could bring up to them, but I guess to some extent,
That's why I'm wondering, would that come under the...
if they're willing to
us, or
assume a risk, then I guess that's on them. By the same token, that's our building, so maybe we should have have that as part of the agreement, the lease, or however we working that, that they incorporate security.
66 museum. There's no
None of our museums have security?
Including the big one, Mojave Museum.
museum, so that's not a city building.
That's, I think, county, isn't it?
No, that's owned by the historic.
Is it?
Worth having a conversation with them and the city. They have something, and as a group, they would like to participate. Since it is their, you know, everything in there it belongs to them, but maybe it's something we would partner on if they're our concern.
I mean,
So I think that's a
yeah.
great point.
I mean, I understand nothing has happened so far that I know of. But at the same time, I'd rather be
Yeah, proactive.
cautious and proactive rather than all of a sudden have somebody say, hey, they broke into us. I mean, if you go in there and just at the counter, those two huge windows that are almost ground level, that are run along the platform. And that's one side of the one side of the building that is, as far as I can determine, is completely dark at night. So.
I also checked the Benelli House too. What about Benelli House?
Yeah, the Benelli House, any of our
Museums?
museums, I think we should look into it with the city.
Well, let's forward that to the council for for an agenda item, and about the security of our public buildings.
I'll forward that on to the city manager.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, it's a pretty short meeting. Any announcements by the commissioners?
I was going to do it, but right now it's up in the air because we don't know what's going to happen between the Tourism Commission and the Economic. There's a workshop, next week?
City council meetings on
City
Tuesday.
council meeting is next week.
Did you want to put the, you talked about the traveling wall, did you want to put that on the agenda?
And I asked,
Too soon, at this point.
at this point, it's kind of up in the air because, number one, it's a fiscal year, a different fiscal year, as Josh told me just recently. And number two, he also recommended that we talk to Mr. Bacon. And number three, we have no idea whether we're gonna be in existence.
Well, it'll be in some form, if it's combined or separate, will still be in existence. It'll be combined Economic Development and Tourism Commission, but we'll still have tourism
Well, then-
as part of it.
Since it's such a short-term notice, maybe I'll take recommendations from the Director of Tourism or the city as to what to do. Do we hold off until the vote is in and see if they're combining and then wait and present it then? Or do we go ahead and ask to put it on the agenda now?
Well, eventually it would become part of the agenda. We can table that, or rather not present it yet, but it wouldn't go away if we voted it in. It'd still be part of the tourism recommendation.
I would say we just act like we're still moving forward with it, just so we can have it on the agenda and
That's
still.
Yeah, so one thing I would like to know so that they know, do we want to go ahead and push it for July, or do we want to put it off until sometime next year to give us some more time? Because we can get the dates in July.
I think this
well. Then I think we should put it on.
discussion, on the agenda.
Yeah, well, I think we
Okay.
put it on the agenda for
Okay.
March.
Okay,
Does that give us enough time?
Oh yeah, I'm sure it'll give us enough time to do that.
let me see.
I thought we had to get the application in.
This particular project is a logistical nightmare. We met about it yesterday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
And there are a lot of moving parts to this. And as much as I would love to see, for a lot of reasons, this happen in July, I think it'll make a better impact on our community. I think that we'll get a lot better turnout. I think there's a lot of reasons. I think that under the circumstances, due to us not knowing what's going to happen with the overall combination of the two committees, who's going to be part of it, we who are possibly spearheading this may not even be part of that committee at that point. So then it's going to be kind of tossed to the wayside. So I really think July is way too soon.
Okay,
I was the one pushing July, I know. But I think that under the circumstances, I think we
Yeah.
better hold off.
under the circumstances, when I talked to the gentleman the other day, one of the reasons why we were able to get the July date was they have the wall in Surprise, Arizona, prior to that, 7/5 to 7/9. So they would just be coming up from Surprise. If everybody, and I'm sorry, I'll have to get you one of these. If you look at the 2018 schedule, it looks like they have the West Coast dates coinciding with each of the cities. The East Coast states, for example, you have Schuylkill Haven, Pennsylvania on 5/10, and then 5/17, you have Michigan. So they're trying to base it to where they don't have that much traveling in between. I mean, I know there's a lot of distance between Pennsylvania and Michigan, but it's all East Coast. So if we can get a copy of this schedule to you, I can talk to Mr. Gray and find out if we can schedule for next year, and see what dates we can get for next year. And we can put it, talk about it at the next meeting.
Is there a cost involved with this?
Yes, there is a cost. it's not as much as I thought, but it is, it's like $5,500. That's for, and one suite. They want a king suite because they're gonna be here for 6 days. They, would like 2,500 up front and then 3,000 when it gets here. What I was thinking, and I know, am I violating anything if I tell you the information I got?
We are, because it's not on the agenda, what I want you guys to know is that, I mean, I don't know a lot about the plans for combining that. That is gonna be presented at the next council meeting, but I would say that this should move forward. I think it's something the community really appreciate. It's a great thing to have here. We have a lot of veterans. And so even if you don't have interest in being on a combined, say we vote for it and you're not interested, those of you who have been working on this should still bring it to that commission and still push it through so our community can enjoy that, because they can see that you guys are passionate about it. So just because some changes happen with that commission, I would hope that you would still work this project to get this to the community. It could happen in July. I mean, that's just, those are things you have to work out, but I hope that you don't just let it go no matter what happens.
I think there's a time frame.
Yeah, it's the time frame that we're looking
Yeah,
at,
that's the
basically,
part.
yeah.
That's,
So we'll have that on
This one.
March's agenda.
Yeah, it's certainly not something we want to see go to the wayside. It's just because we have to wait another 30 days to even present it, and then they have to wait again to make a recommendation. We won't hit the deadlines that they need to get us locked in, plus get all the volunteers arranged and so on. Again, it's logistics. So I think July is too soon, although I really wanted.
Okay, we'll save this for when it's on the agenda. Right now, we're discussing something that's not agendized.
Yeah,
So,
but one of the things that I did notice that will give us time for is that we can decide exactly
Okay.
when we want to bring it into the
Again, we'll
Yeah.
talk about that next month at our
Okay.
meeting.
Okay.
So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
I
Thank you.